Gets blocked up by the Phoenix, and QC is always the Phoenix tries to get the experience here into the Furious Tower.
Yeah, Tubu is gonna try and right click him down, but even if they do hold them to dying mind control, make sure the ball does come down all the way through. It should be able to get his last level 2 because of that. Meanwhile, we have a mid matchup. MP is going to be facing up against Fada's Death Prophet.
This is another one of those heroes that Fada loves to play. He loves Dragonite, he loves Death Prophet, Razor, Viper, these kind of heroes. Tanky pusher, he plays them really well.
Yeah, particularly heroes that use one-on-one matchups as well. I think is something that Fada really shines on. Ever since the change up to Death Prophet, adding in Spirit Siphon, it's definitely become one of those strong one-on-one heroes.
And this is going to be a complex invoker that he likes to play. He could have played Exor in this game, but I think it's better to go for a comfort zone. He just plays it so much, and he wants to take control of the game while Fuel pops out.
Man, interesting choice here. I kind of like this. MP actually turning and fighting Fada a little bit, letting the full Spirit Siphon go through, but actually still getting more damage out on Fada than
he had the creep advantage. So just playing towards that with his full snap doesn't make any sense. And yeah, pretty much calm and collected early game here as the Beastmaster is going to keep jumbling up. Rubik actually stacking and preparing for the Gyrocopter as well.
Let's see if we were right. It's actually pretty close between our two junglers here. Brett, of course, is abandoned the off lane compared to the 4th position Beastmaster, but Brett is level 3.
Someone needs to buy a Super Store right now. One of the supports should be going for all, and I think maybe even Febby will take it. Axe, he doesn't have a Super Store, and he won't be able to get there and take the experience that Jaro is pushing into the tower now.
Well, both supports do have a TP scroll, but if they go now, they may still be wrapped around them. I think that's the idea behind Jarex. He does reveal himself. I think he was just clearing through, seeing the actions in the offlane camp, and maybe checking the ancients, see if that was stacked up at all.
Good job denying the pool here by MVP supports. They want to not push into the tower, all these creeps coming, and the creeps try. No, not going to go into this. So both the range creeps are being pulled back, and one melee as well.
So the idea between Brett's axe is that he picked up an early level of Battle Hunger to help him stack, and because of that, he's not only just going through the medium, he's clearing through some other stacks as well. He's almost level 5 now. He's actually top CS on the board Beastmaster.
You actually farm insanely fast with jungle axe.
Yeah, I didn't realize this. I didn't realize it would be faster than the Beastmaster of all.
There's been some tutorials and guides showing people getting extremely fast level 6, like 4 minutes and 10 seconds or something. It comes down a little bit to spawns though. I think Beastmaster relies more on getting good spawns than Axe relies more than the Beastmaster. But Beastmaster can kill pretty much anything. It's the same thing, right? The Wars are gonna kill whatever.
Brett did it perfectly. Dropped very, very low, but was able to complete his Tranquil Boots and heads back to base, and that'll speed up the juggling that much more. And we could be looking at a Blink Dagger that is fast enough to be seen anywhere from 10 to 13 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. You could get that. And right now, both teams are just letting the other farm. We see a suicide by Dubu, just going back to base and healing up.
Not worrying about it too much, just a free trip back to base. Okay, so the Axe is actually now being has Tranquil Boots. He's going to show himself in his lane.
That's a good choice.
They may not actually have the levels to be able to push back against him. Someman is level 5, but doesn't quite have his ultimate.
Axe being on the lane means that the supports can now not only gank mid, they can also gank bottom.
Right.
Because Vetch and AA together are quite strong. I'm surprised he doesn't have a single point in challenge touch.
That was tempting. MVP Phoenix. They thought about backing into the jungle, but instead they will catch Jarex here on the side. Good telekinesis that really helps solve things out with full speed block hit. That'll be a first one.
They get it. Beautiful stuff. The two supports gonna be happy about that one. We saw Febby get really far with his glitch last game.
Fada challenging MP here. Does manage to get a whole Spirit Siphon just in time, but he's completely out of mana. Tornado. Yeah, a little bit more time, but he finally gets He takes it.
That's beautiful. They were talking earlier on the panel how he always is very stable, but this goes out of the ordinary. It's getting a solo kill mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. He sees the opportunity, very brilliant, sees the opportunity up against Cold Snap EMP to just turn around, go for the Spirit Siphon, double play there. And now Rubik actually manages to pick up the kill on the actual helpful Gyrocopter while MVP Phoenix surrounding Beast. Gonna be able to catch him up. As HP gets off the primal roar, going to be able to pick up the heavy turnaround kill. Then he immediately tries to TP up.
Pigil na pigil.
MVP are going to be pretty happy about that one, though. Killing off the Beastmaster, that's a high level kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since when they went for that smoke earlier, they almost ran into the Beastmaster. And he was again sitting at that half HP zone.
Man, he could go for an early minus on this AA. He has 1,000 gold already. Ooh. And boots.
That would actually be great for the idea of Liquid maybe trying to slow down this game a bit and hit a very hard 30-minute timer. If we can get a fast minus on this ancient apparition. You could talk about things other than just the items. We could see more of that combative playstyle of the AA. Maybe something like Force Staff or those other utility items.
Yeah. I'm surprised that MP didn't go for boots early on the mid lane. I guess that's not good. It's sort of like laning against the Razor. You want that boot so you can break the Spirit Siphon, but that could have been an item that could have saved him earlier. It just goes for a laser attack to increase his last hitting, of course. Don't have it soon.
The idea of trying to man up against the Death Prophet a little bit more when Spirit Siphon is on and on.
Both the supports have been scouted here. They ran through the lane ward, not smoke for this one.
We'll see whether or not Liquid are able to counter this or if they're just going to sit back and play passive, waste the support's time. Because they do have Kuro with level 6 and he's probably more ready to go once again.
Triple stack on the big camp as well, so there's a lot of reason to fight down here.
Both teams actually know about each other. You have that aggressive ward laid out by MVP Phoenix and spotted Kuro walking over. And obviously our laning ward for Liquid spotting two support rotations. So things are pretty awkward right now when both teams kind of facing off against each other. Both think that they have that jump on the other.
The Hawks, so they get even better intel on Liquid now, seeing exactly where Axe is camping. So it seems Kuro is just going to start trying to kill off the triple stack before they come out and fight.
Yeah, smart. The two supports will actually decide at this point in time to do the full wraparound behind mid, but at the same time, Quada is actually joined the rest of his team. He wants to be able to pick up that 8-minute move.
I like that movement though, because they saw him move down bottom, so there should be some contesting, so good heads-up play by the mid to go down there and try to be useful to his team early. Instead, they make the long run around.
Because the Death Prophet hasn't shown up at that top room. Oh, they're just very likely picked up bottoms. They're going to take instead in the top lane with control shooting.
Binaruba lang Buda.
They even have the cold feet still. You can see the bottom lane
Diretso lang.
It looks like we're having to take it. It's dodged a little bit, but now we're headlong into it. They got the tornado.
Ibot.
Unfortunately.
Could have maybe lived if we got that, but we had to kill quickly as well because Jarrow was shooting him down.
Exactly. So 3 to 4, the trade out there in the bottom lane. Both off laners get traded away to each other, but obviously MVP Phoenix with the extra kill.
Yeah, and MP getting his first successful rotation there. He's coming in behind them here a bit.
Yeah, this actually could be a bit of a sandwich tornado. The MVP goes off, Jared's completely out of everything. Does manage to get the paintball off.
Isa pa.
So support for support, but this does cost Fana. He's actually
Op.
He's
Roll!
going to be up next. No more exes.
Uy! Grabe execution na yun. Bilis din mo gusto din na
and that results in it being stuck in the trees long enough for the final reward to land, and just like that, Liquid that's hitting on tier 2.
Yeah, this tower, I don't think we can defend it, but they're going to try. There's no one going to take some AA. Still got back up though. One away for exorcism. Wow, maybe taking a lot of damage from that fear and ulti attack.
Jax will get the space at top lane to complete his level 6 very key. At level 5, Rubik is always a little bit obnoxious, just kind of sitting there, if I just have my level 6, I could be so much more impactful.
Oh yeah, especially against this team, there are so many good spells that you can steal. Particularly all against MVP's lineup have nice spells for him, especially later when he has a blink dagger, then even the call could be a good steal.
Right. So our Liquid seems to be taking quite the net worth lead here in the laning phase with The Beastmaster doing quite well for himself, but it's kind of like the extra advantage like that they did have a 4-position juggling. MVP Phoenix just couldn't get enough done with their supports and continue to fail to do so. Now the rotation seems to be read by Liquid.
It's that, but also mainly just that win on the mid 2-5 between the tower as well. Almost, getting some damage to the tier 2 tower. Puts everyone on their team. Stay alive. Nice blast. There for a reason.
Good takeoff there. 6-6. This actually puts our Sorgo ahead in network now. Everyone else, that being said, the following 4 members are all on the side of the course.
Yeah, Mind Control is going to get even more money here. Takes that top tower, and he has his full routes completed as well when he goes back to his base.
It's not too bad. I think he's really going to try and trade away towers here.
Yeah, not an immediate trade, but they're probably going to...
Malulobot na?
Did they see perhaps with some of
They
these
didn't see
wards?
the smoke, but they saw them run away from it. So.
They've got a mid ward, they've got a deep jungle ward as well, so...
Yeah, between not seeing them mid anymore and not seeing them cross that path, it's pretty obvious for sure.
They're baiting out too low right now. Seems Jared Smoke is going to pop, Bot's going to come through. Double silence, and Bot will be able to get the Spirit Siphon, causing a lot of damage to Kiwo. But there's nothing else to do to stop him. Rocket follows out, but Liquid should be able to deal with that one. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Fred slows down Curl, turn around, Primal Roar. Just stops Fred in his tracks. Curl. I think he was going for a team, but now...
Hey! Sipak.
This bottom tower now being pressured by a DP and Gyrocopter. Also going behind and dropping deep wards with a Rubik. He sees Dubu.
Ito na, turn around pa na naman
Maybe
sila.
thinking about if he can hold the Storm Reaps off the tower. That's not going to happen. Jared will be able to get the kill. Rocket Rush.
They still have the ecosystem, but they're going to back out. Expecting that all of MVP are ready to go down there.
But this is also where MVP Phoenix start getting super aggressive, right? We've got Blink Dagger on Slar.
It's about that time. The tournament are completed. That's all Hero needs. I saw them do some insane plays on starter in group stage. Armor toggling was impeccable. It's going to be really hard in this game against the Rocket Barrage and against the Spirit Siphon, but I've seen him do some magic.
Definitely use a team fight win here. A bit behind in experience. We come advantage spotted out by an Ice Blast.
He's got to back up to that. Speeds up his farm a little bit.
And he'll still be full HP very soon thanks to his helmet on.
Just very heads up play by Liquid right now. They're forcing the enemy to react to their rules. They're pushing down mid. Beastmaster is just farming away and pushing top as well. So this smoke rotation coming in for MVP is on such a short timer. You don't have much time to catch someone until your lanes are just suffering. And look at mid. This is already obvious that they're smoking.
With tier 2 being pushed in,
exactly.
Nobody protecting that, MVP's rotation becomes very obvious to read, and Liquid are actually so sure of what's going on here, they continue to push rather conservatively, but they're still continuing to push at the top lane.
Liquid definitely looking more prepared in this game than they did in the previous game, but MVP could also just go for Roshan. They have Stardar, can definitely do another 2 on that ulti even, so minus 15 armor.
The trains are there, of course, to be able to get the vision, but it might just be too fast for Liquid. That's fine. Liquid will still be able to take a tier 2 at the top lane. You can see Curl and Mind Control are at it now, and the rest of Liquid start wrapping through the dire jump.
Beastmaster is closing up. He gets the last hit. He's going to be very close to his Necro now. When he gets the first Necro book, he's already so much stronger. It's a very good item in his axe as well. Some of the AoE damage cannot be prevented.
Yeah, it's kind of tied up with Jeff Prophet and the Fury. Brett looks to be going a Blade Mail up next. The tier 1 is going to be taken at bottom lane by Kiwo. As we see Brett defend the top lane. It does cost them their middle tier 2 tower. Liquid actually getting so much early map control now. I'm not sure MVP Phoenix, they're not in the same situation. It's kind of the same kind of play style I think they were looking at, but last time around, they were able to take all the fights on Liquid's side of the map, but here, Liquid have actually outmaneuvered them enough that they've gotten enough map control, all the lanes are being pushed in, that if a fight does happen, it's likely to be Liquid the one enforcing it on the MVP side.
And what we're seeing now is why you and I were talking during the draft that maybe they should go aggressive MVP to have great kills for it and just punish this jungle Beastmaster, because right now he's practically a core. He's out farming the Evoker, he's out farming the Axe. So Liquid are playing 4 cores against 3 here.
Successful rotation of 3 into the jungle, into the gyrocopter. Will now stop pressuring that tier 2 tower. That's a good kill to find. They're gonna start. I think they've got this. I don't think Liquid are going to be able to keep me back. It's just, but they're not set up.
This time it's Liquid that are not getting any trade. Yearn is not farming right now. Most of the jungle is already farmed, so Beastmaster has to wait around before starting to kill more neutrals. And no tower is really being pressured.
Give it over to this Lardar. Would have liked to see our Invoker pick it up, just because I feel like he's a bit far behind.
He doesn't have his Midas yet.
Yeah.
Now he gets it. 16-minute Midas. Normally you want to have it at half that timer for a mid lane.
And not a good sign, especially in a Colossal X Invoker. I feel like there's almost more incentive for a Colossal X Invoker to get those levels faster, just because you're missing out on a bit advantage.
Which is also why I thought that XR Invoker, it would secure him more if the game goes this way. If they cannot find kills and just being played around by Liquid, he would have the Meteor to just speed farm whenever there's a big creep wave, and he would have something to fall back on. Right now, he's in a very tough position. Axe has his full blade now, along with the blade as well.
Protecting the gyrocopter, it seems, at all costs. I think they're anticipating MVP Phoenix to make another rotation to try and shut out that carry. It does make a lot of sense, especially since the Axe now has his blade now. He can be a direct counter to the Axe, or to the gyrocopter in many ways.
I think it could be the Jungle Man just being traumatized from last game as well. He died, what, 11 times? It was a hard game to be carried.
It was a rough first one.
He needs some protection here. Liquid, their stack on Ancient is being scouted out and walks. It's already pretty stacked though, so they farm that.
Yeah, they've got an Axe that can mess around. They still need to take this tier 1 and mid though. I think MVP Phoenix already heading top. The Ancient Apparition Ice Climb head over to the tier 1 tower earlier, and they probably know my control's around. Just that Shadow Blade, so now Liquid will march in through their secret shop area. They're going to try and make the initiation on a queue up before they manage to blink out.
They don't have the best initiation heroes on Liquid. No blinker, no nothing. They can have to walk in with Rubik and Lift or get a roar from long distance, but again, no blink.
Grip Sword stalls it up. The tier 1 tower still gets taken out. Liquid not doing anything with that one, despite having a lot of reasons to do so. Respecting that initiation.
Yeah, they're just respecting the ages. It's too dangerous to go into MVP sometimes there.
Yeah.
It's timing out soon, and Liquid could be looking to go more aggressive. They just used up 1 smoke, but they have 1 more available on the Beastmaster. Sometimes the best part is just smoke immediately after a fair work and say, hey, let's go again.
Yeah, you know, it's actually pretty funny that it seems like Game 1 really had an impact on Liquid because they're playing so scared of these smoke rotations. The fact that they used that Radiant Scan there at the top lane after MVP backed out from a tier 1. So many other teams would take that tier 1 and be like, okay, we got something. They did absolutely nothing with their time. They 5-man, they didn't get anything out of it. That's awesome. You know, and MVP, you know, other teams would back out. MVP is one of the few teams that might back out, smoke up, and go back in like that. That's something that Liquid is rather afraid of. So that's why they're staying so clumped up at this point, trying to continue their farm. And that is one of the things, is that because their laning phase went so well, they got themselves a pretty decent golden experience lead, and they can continue to edge that a bit by saying,
and they also have duels that were just completed on Vada. That's all they were waiting for to smoke there. I was wondering why they stick around for such a long time, but they have that key item. They want to make something happen. Yules. I can't get the range on Nora here, and it blinks away.
That's unfortunate. So Liquid's full rotation has been scouted out, and MVP Phoenix sure just waiting for a bit more information. 5-man run, I think.
But this time it's Liquid that have the option the MVP had in last game. They had an Ember split push, now the Fury is here for Liquid instead. So they don't have to stress this, they can slowly push with Fury in different forms. Well, all of them in here are just sitting back here. Nobody's farming right now.
MVP Phoenix show their 2 initiators as they push out the lane. Liquid not wanting to have anything to do with that are going to play this very, very conservatively. They can keep this lane push forward and keep MVP Phoenix defending the tier 2. What they're doing is essentially buying a lot of space on mind control for Furion to get some control at the top.
I'm so amazed, by the way, by the network of Fuel in this game. The fact that he is top farmer in a game like this is pretty impressive on a hero like Slardar.
Yeah, Slardar is definitely not known for his great farming speed. Another jump in, another pullback. Grab for Tunnel Man. He doesn't stand a chance of hell being able to get away from that one. Liquid quickly abandoned him.
Yeah, just running away, trying to get out. They have a Yule Sector, so it's pretty fast. So, not going to be able to get the ball in time. Not quite. Good place to keep you out. But they lost their carry, so it's still pretty painful for Liquid, even though they were farming with Furious. And these guys are going to be happy about that one. And I think it's going to be the march on Slardar here. Yeah. And in this game, I like it so much. They play this every single time they play Slardar almost. They go for Armlet, and they're playing the march. And it's a great build for Slardar.
Yeah, it gives him a ton more right-click damage, and you're also the BKB, which is normally something that we would consider talking about. It's just not as important in a game like this. Liquid have disables to go through it. They don't have an overwhelming amount of single target magic damage that Slardar needs to worry about that either. He just needs to tank up overall.
Yeah, if they have a ton of teamfight potential in Liquid that you could mitigate by buying a HP, maybe you would go for it, but I think this is a better choice. Yeah, this is altogether a different scenario.
Mind control once again, putting to good use that Shadow Blade as he tries to split push and hide in the trees. And buying his team more time.
He has the full Maelstrom as well, so this DPS is going to be pretty good. If he can get in behind the enemy when the initiation has gone down, Gyrocopter's in and committed, then he can get some good right-click off. The difficulty about Nature's Protocol, how do you right-click against these heroes? There's so many stuns and disables. He needs BKB on before he can do anything.
Look at that, the Ice Blast actually managed to run through during the smoke, and MVP managed to get a glimpse of it and hiding themselves on the high ground. They also drew up towards the axe to make sure he didn't get caught out either. He goes all the way back to base, wraps through mid to join the rest of his team.
Very good. They're going to be the ones themselves now to smoke out, but sadly, directly under a ward of Liquid, so Liquid should be knowing exactly what's coming for them.
Smoke for smoke.
Yeah.
Both going to fail, it seems.
We'll see if they want to, they look like they want to take the fight. The way they're positioning right now, they're trying to bring over the Gyrocopter to this so. Oh boy, it's going to be too soon.
Alay na naman siya. Natumba man. Pinakita siya eh.
Whether that's Matu's fault or a whole team's fault. Either way,
gather up faster when they saw that smoke, because it was definitely under their vision. I don't know. So it's surprising to me, but MVP,
Alay na naman siya.
they get the payoff, but they're still not getting the map control. Maybe they're just going to push down mid and go for this tier 2. But right now, they have both top and bottom about to be threatened. Four step, Brett puts himself in an awkward position, does manage to get the battle hunger onto Kuro.
Okay.
Sa pool. Kapalit.
Liquid. It's all fine and well if MVP Phoenix can get the Slardar, or if Liquid can get the Slardar.
Yeah, they got the
Ready off the Beastmaster.
They got the cancel on his TP out. He tried to join his team, but everyone was TPing to top lane, so his TP was quite slow. Hold up. They're going for Roshan? Ooh. They will be.
I mean, this is definitely the favorable trade, right? If you can, you have the advantage 4 for 4.
They don't have Beast though. This is not a super fast Roche. Maybe able to clear out in just a few seconds. I guess they are going to be able to bring it down.
Already down to half HP.
Close. Tornado.
Ice Blast going to be on the mark though.
Salamat din, nag-miss.
Back up, right back into the pit as soon as that
Pasok
Ice Blast
ulit.
explosion.
They're just going to back out and do it. Yeah. If they landed a good Ice Blast, maybe they would take a fight there even without the starter. I just hope for him to reinforce later. But have to give it away. That's going to help a lot with the high ground break. Because Liquid, even though they're farming a lot and they have tons of heroes that are getting stronger, I do feel that they want to utilize the Nature's Prophet and Death Prophet push. Let's get that high ground damage.
Gold bounty.
There we go. Looks like Yubu going to be spotted up at the Fountain War. Should be able to get some force down.
Patay!
Ay na, tinamaan.
Utang grabe pang.
Kuha pala niya.
That's a great. Try and grab some more heroes.
Great kickoff for Liquid there. Good decision making on Axe Marks. Doing something more than Beast. But how do they react to Axe's buyback? It's not.
Axe is going to have a buyback here, and you make a big play to defend this tier 3 tower if they want to be able to keep their racks alive, and I'm sure they do. Silence already on a Dubu MP, which we are being acted by Tornado.
Sabog.
Oh, dali na patay.
Gago pa.
He's just going to find his time. He can kite these two.
Ay na, nakol pa.
Man, that was so impressive. Axe just got the perfect play off. MP made it happen as well as he set up the kill of the Death Prophet.
Slam dunk.
It's beautiful team play. And that's where I think MVP excel as a team. The way they take fights together is just so impressive. Communication in this team is phenomenal. I would love to just be a fly on the wall in their room.
That being said, it's still a win for Liquid as they managed to take a very early melee Rax, and that is going to be hurting MVP Phoenix for the rest of the game, even if they did get this big jump up in gold and everything else. As time draws out, we'll really see the impact of having those super creeps into play. Mind Control makes the TPN. Dubu gets a very aggressive combination of ward and counter ward to try and get some ideas about Mind Control split pushing loop.
And I think important to talk about now is that QO, he got picked up twice when he was the most farmed hero. Right now he finished his heart. If he dies one more time here, it could be really crucial for Liquid. But I think they're gonna start being the aggressors instead.
When did he have the Reaper?
He had it very early.
Yeah, it was like, had to be like at latest 20 minutes. And it took him another 7 to be able to finish off the heart, if not much more. QO's position, unfortunately. Looks like MP has found Mind Control, slowing him down with the close out. The EMP is going to
Utang na grabe cold stop.
They finally do.
Pinaganda pa.
Slam ng kulit eh.
So MVP Phoenix with this, alright QO. You can push out mid, just be careful with it. Alright. I'm just immediately, now it's like kind of just the tale of this story. Every single time I see MVP Phoenix get a pick off on one side of the map, and I expect QO to start dying on the other. Not gonna happen here though. MVP Phoenix quickly group up, go for the tier 2 or top lane.
Very uncharacteristic for him to get caught off. I mean, he's normally a player that's very hard to kill, especially when he plays as Emperor and elusive heroes like this. Looks like they want to go for the push here. I'm not really sure about it though. They're running it.
The next team fight is going to be looking pretty good for Liquid. They've got a BKB as well as a Blink Dagger now. BKB on Fana, of course, the Blink Dagger just recently picked up by Pearl. Those are some very significant upgrades. Is it enough though to actually beat MVP Phoenix in a 5-man?
I think MVP still has a stronger 5-man fighting. It's just the AOV is so much to stop.
Malupit, malupit. Sabo, ay naalay ulit.
Yeah, mission success sila eh. Ugag!
MVP Phoenix They need to be able to catch more because they've lost 2 lanes of racks now.
But they're in the dark. They don't see anyone here. They're working on the top part of the map, so they can't really catch anyone here. The MVP just getting destroyed there by that push. You have to be there and react in time. They were just too late to TP in.
Yeah.
As I said, I think that they were stronger at that point for taking a deep fight, but if you're not there in time, your base is gone. Beastmaster, Death Prophet, Backer.
And Liquid has kind of been the big strategy of them for the longest time is they've been here. Might just be dropping real quickly too.
Yeah, 3 hits in the alacrity as well, so it goes so fast.
Yeah. So we are seeing how he can just shred a single hero like the big damage dealers of Death Prophet and the Gyrocopter, and that's why it's not necessary ever for Liquid to try and take a fight. Even if they are picking up team fight items like BKB, the Blink Tank initiation this night, they just need to focus on their movement. They've got the 2 lanes of racks, and now they can play a very efficient style game of farming while MVP Phoenix have to constantly deal with these side lane pushes.
I actually disagree a little bit. I still think when that profit is up, they should start going for 4 or 5 manning. Because that's where MVP is struggling right now.
Jump in, Q going to be talking to us. Almost an instant escape from on top of him. He gives himself a little bit of space. Is it going to be enough though? That's another info. As a force stab on seconds, Liquid went the wrong way.
Yeah, but they're still going to push now. They're going to force a startup buyback for sure. Furion going for the courier.
For Liquid, right before their big victory, perhaps, as Liquid look to be able to even out the score in this series, 1-1 with this final push-up kill.
Have the Death Prophet ulti as well. No buyback. That's the only reason they're being a little bit cautious right now. If she dies, that could be disastrous. So they're going to be respecting MVP a little bit. Not going to be able to force the buyback.
Yeah, they back away. It's fine. They can wait on Roshan. I mean, with 2 lanes of racks, they'll always have the more information, the better movement around the map. They're going to be able to get the pressure on the side lanes to make MVP Phoenix be in that position so they can open up that 3 Aegis potentially. And they've got a decent team at doing it too. The Phenomenon is up on the Beastmaster.
I'd like to see Liquid just keep the pressure up and keep fighting this fight. Because Smarter still does not have a BKB. We've seen in the first series how hard it could be for a carry when all the lockdown is there. Liquid have a long jump.
You will maybe the target is they're going to try and lead things off the television to give the silver edge. We will be able to see his Q1 as he tries to make his way back to the fountain. The rocket is pursuing him.
Still killed though. Liquid get what they want. Sure, kill the Q. Smarter would have been fair.
Attempt at a Sunstrike to see if Roshan is up. It is not. Another minute for that one. Meanwhile, Liquid will continue the pressure on mid. MVP Phoenix. There's another nice steal for Jared. Gets the amplified damage.
It's a really good counter spell. Just putting that on Axe when he goes in, or even on the Star Dart himself.
Being able to acknowledge more presence like MVP Phoenix even with just a vision is going to be nice.
Sure. So just backing off. They keep a creep on Roshan at all times now in Liquid. They just want to wait up for that Aegis. As they don't have buyback in Death Prophet, they're in a very volatile spot, even if they have 2 racks in silence.
15 to 19, 33 minutes in, Liquid with a rather large lead at this point in time. 2 lanes of racks ahead. They are a decent chunk of gold up as well. They're about 9K.
And MVP, they don't have the best heroes to deal with these big creeps. Sure, you can kill them off with Axe, and you can sort of hammer them down in the end of the partial starter, but you don't do it quickly, and these heroes would rather want to be killed. Yeah, it's not what they're designed to do. It's not like a Gyrocopter or anything of that sort.
I mean, we are already talking about the fact that it was impressive that QO has actually still maintained the top net worth. And that's in part simply because you just don't have a whole lot of creep clearing. Now they do see that Roshan is being taken right now by Liquid, but again, it just comes down to position. You're just way too late.
Yeah, and there's a cheese on the ground as well, so cheese over on the side of that Prophet. He just gonna go actually kill the Roshan.
Oh man, so the snatch there on the Gyrocopter. Okay,
Febby, gotta be happy with that little bit of money.
Yeah.
giving it to his team.
I mean, MVP Phoenix need every little bit they could possibly grab onto at this point. Got to get those buybacks into play. Still another 800 needed for the Slardar, but we're talking about that BKB as well. At least has it.
It looked for a second like they wanted to smoke out and go out of their base, but they just can't. The Hawk is everywhere, scouting. There's so much pressure from the trees. Just not enough things to smoke. I think MVP has to wait and just take their high ground fight. That's the best deal they're gonna get.
They're going to have to take a high ground fight with both the side lanes pushing in most likely. Take advantage of having those early super creeps plus the Furion's pressure as well. Both Tiki and his ult.
Yeah.
So there's going to be, pretty much no matter what happens in this next fight, there's going to be a lot of structure damage done by Liquid on the MVP Phoenix's base.
Definitely. And they could almost just blindly rush in and fight the base. Make sure if you get mega creeps as Liquid, they're going to fall.
And they're actually going to be able to lead things off. Right click and mind control, and of course that puts a stop to that. BKB, is the response now, and you can come in this spot back. You are
Gago! Umabot.
BKB instead is going to be a lucky prize here for Liquid as they jump in, find their initiation. Results in kill on the actor to look up next. Red with a buyback, managed to grab the top of it. Hopes to be able to bring it back into the base for one of his teammates to be able to follow that up. That's just not the case. Into the tower, ready to go. Cold snap a little bit more. Jump in, queue up, and it's going to two-man.
Hello! Hello!
That's not going to be good. Matana is left alone. Matana is just about to come back up with the ice blast. Should be enough for them to be able to quickly finish off. They're full on committing for this one, so they have to get out. If they lose too many heroes, this could be their turnaround. That's Rangers thrown away the advantage in his high ground.
The Fury, at least the Beast has to run away because he thought that as well and traveled, but he doesn't have to just run back to his base. MVP just did to deal with the side effects and then pushed on it.
Sana never give up.
Amazing team fighting.
The night was so dark for MVP Phoenix, but now there is a glimmer of hope in this game. As the buybacks are down, if they can win
Glimmer
another
of
fight
hope.
like this, they can actually go all in, try